Now, here we are. We're 22 minutes in. We're actually going to start talking about what we are here for, and that is WWE's Saturday night's main event. It is going to be the night after Halloween. It's going to be on Peacock. I'm putting out the warning for everybody out there in the world. WWE talked at length about WrestlePalooza being featured on the ESPN app, and there was people out there. I'm not pointing fingers. If you know who I'm talking about from watching the reviews, that thought there was ways around signing up for ESPN. They went and they tried to sign up for Disney Plus, thinking that they'd be able to watch it on there. They were thinking that they could just sign up for regular Hulu. And it was no, you had to get ESPN Plus to be able to watch this. You will not be able to turn on your basic TV, your cable TV, your freaking YouTube TV, to NBC, to CNBC, to any NBCs. Oh, there's MSNBC. Any of those NBCs out there. This is not going to be on television. It is only going to be on the Peacock app. The same Peacock app that you used to watch WWE PLEs such as WrestleMania, Survivor Series, SummerSlam for 4 or 5 years between 2021 and 2025. We are still doing the Peacock, even though everything else has moved over. The WWE reached a deal with NBC Universal for more money to give us 4 shows a year. We're getting one bonus one in this year of 2025. I think this was a way of Peacock and NBC making sure they didn't lose all of the WWE survivors. Subscribers. What was I saying? I was thinking of Survivor. That's going to be tomorrow night on CBS. What if I made Survivor videos? But this honestly is a really good show. As of right now, we've got 4 matches to kick this thing off. All 4 of them, basically, are they? All 4 of them are championship matches. We have the 2 biggest belts, the World Heavyweight, the WWE. We have the Women's SmackDown belt, and we have the Intercontinental title. 4 of the most respected titles out there. I really wonder if this is a handshake deal with Peacock that they would give a Dynamite show. And I just want to get this out of the way. I don't have any news. I don't have any rumors. I don't have anything. This is just me sitting here in my bedroom at this desk. John Cena, he said that 2025 was going to be his last year in professional wrestling. He gave us the number of dates that he was going to be there. He told us what cities he was going to be at. But if you actually looked at it, he did every major WWE PLE minus WWE Evolution, which was a women's show. He did every Saturday night's main event. He had the match against R-Truth, you can remember back in the day. I really wonder if John Cena is going to show up at this Saturday night's main event to show us the direction of what he's going to do at Survivor Series. If it's what people say, if the rumors are true, maybe he shows up at the end of the Dominic match and actually challenges Dominic to a match face to face on this show. Maybe it's telling us what he's going to be doing for the Monday Night Raws. We have a show in Boston. We have a show in the Madison Square Garden. Or just to hype up what the next Saturday night's main event is going to be. That one's going to be in Washington, D.C. Maybe we get some sort of lead on who is going to be the final opponent, what these last 4 shows are going to be about. I don't want it to be on tape. I think it would be awesome if it was in person. The show being in Salt Lake City, with it being out of the Delta Center, I think Salt Lake City is a really easy city to get into and get out of. It is a major hub for Delta. There could be easy, almost direct flights to the show, out of the show as soon as this stuff is done. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I honestly think it would be really cool if it did happen. The pictures of him with Blake at the NXT Performance Center kind of shows you. I don't think he was there training. I think that was him like actually showing his love of wrestling, being in town and wanting to check out what is going on. Maybe there's wrestlers that he's seeing in NXT. I know this guy watches wrestling because he loves wrestling. He's probably a lot like The Rock, how he wishes he could do it, but he knows his body is breaking down. He's older than he was, and plus there's just so much money in Hollywood that he wants to find the next act of his career. And he can't miss out on the next, major movie role that's going to be out there. So John Cena, Saturday night's main event. Who knows? But I think it should happen. When we look at this show, we've got 4 big matches. We've got Dominic Mysterio versus Penta versus Rusev. That's going to be a 3-way for the Intercontinental Championship. That one was set up on Monday Night Raw. We had a number 1 contenders match between Penta and Rusev. That match was basically broke up by the El Grande Americano crew. And then Adam Pearce, who had been sniffing out the fact that the Judgment Day is a bunch of cheaters. It doesn't matter if it's Dominic Mysterio. It doesn't matter if it's Finn Balor. That, they might get a referee's decision. But Adam Pearce, who makes these so-called rankings for, who moves up into championship shots and stuff like that, they're not winning anything there. Adam Pearce basically thought that Dominic got El Grande Americano involved to get Penta and Rusev to start looking at the El Grande crew and thinking that they're going to team up to going after there. That's the way it felt to me. They were really looking at him like they were about to go, and Rusev could have attacked Penta in the back, didn't do it. I think this is a tag team match that we're going to see in the future. It's really going to show what is going on with the El Grande Americano crew. Is this a real team? Part of me was wondering if they were just finding a way to get 5 El Grande Americanos to Survivor Series to have some sort of a, do you remember the 4 Doinks match at Survivor Series? I'm going to throw out 93, but I'm not 100% sure. Hopefully you know about the 4 Doinks with the Men on a Mission and the Bushwhackers. But I look at this match. I think that Dom's got to find a way to get this done. And with the ongoing feud with Adam Pearce, I'm not surprised if El Grande Americano isn't involved in this match at all. Maybe we actually find Adam Pearce coming down to ringside, getting involved somehow to help keep the El Grande Americanos out of there. But some sort of interference, disqualification, making somebody look the other way. Dom's going to roll somebody up. And I wouldn't be surprised if he even uses that favorite weapon of the ring hammer to get involved. Penta and Rusev, they both have rights to the Intercontinental Championship. I just don't think at this time that Dom is ready to drop that belt. And I'm not a big follower of what is going on in AAA. I did watch the World Tours show before Money in the Bank. I haven't seen anything since. But I don't think that Dom's ready to lose that mega title for AAA anytime soon. So that's why I'm going to just keep sticking with Dominic, the double champion. We haven't even really seen anything with the Judgment Day, and we got to be knowing that Liv Morgan's return is coming up around the corner. Are they going to pull anything with Roxanne, or did they just completely drop the Roxanne Dom Liv storyline because of her injury? And they just never went on and pulled the trigger, because as of right now, the women of the Judgment Day haven't even really gotten involved in that championship picture for those tag titles to come back. And I thought that was going to be a major storyline, pinning Raquel now against Roxanne and Liv over who she wants to be partners with. Does she want to, turn on Roxanne and lose her title somehow? Does she want to keep her title to the point where she will shun Liv Morgan as a like what have you done for me lately kind of thing? We've heard a lot about I'm going to tell Liv or Liv getting involved in Judgment Day rumors, but we haven't seen her. We haven't heard her. You can't see any decisions that have been made because of Liv Morgan. Everything is always a scare tactic of I'm going to tell her or she's going to find out. Tiffany Stratton is going to be putting on her WWE Championship title into a match against Jade Cargill. These two last got involved in a match at SummerSlam. Since then, we had Julia. Shoot, I forgot her name. What is Julia's manager's name? I don't remember. She's the one who got the title shot against Tiffany. And when it became a 2-on-1 ordeal, Jade Cargill came down and even the odds, only for her to do like a big sister, little sister kind of thing where I'm not going to let you beat up my sister. I'm the only one that can beat up my sister. So I'm the one who's going to beat her up. Basically, tossed her out of the way and then went after Tiffany Stratton. I can go back to SummerSlam. I can pull up my SummerSlam predictions. I picked Jade Cargill to win that match. I think it's time. I think it's time to finally crown Jade Cargill as a major player in WWE, even if she isn't the one having the best matches, even if she's not even the most over one. I think the WWE in one of those weird situations where they aren't going to admit that they were wrong. I think they're just going to push Jade Cargill along. I think she's going to win the championship from Tiffany Stratton. And then once she has it, it's going to be sink or swim. We're going to find out. As long as she has that title, they're either going to figure out that it works or that's the time that the title comes off for fast, that you really see what people were thinking is the fact that Jade's just going to get pushed to the back of the women's division. You stole a big one. You stole one of the awesome big names from AEW where they were pushing her, but they weren't pushing her to the limit. And you got her first. She came to you because she thought that you could make her a bigger star. We're gonna have to honestly see if they can really do it. Tiffany, she's only lost one match. That was against Stephanie Vakir at WrestlePalooza. That was one of the big storylines that they were telling during that match. After she loses that championship, I think that the storyline for Tiffany is going to be, has she lost it? Has WWE kind of figured her out? What's going on inside of her head? And it's going to be the comeback story of Tiffany working her way towards getting that title back. But then again, you got to look at what time of the year it is. We've got January coming right around the corner, the Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble. You got to be thinking that if Liv Morgan is going to be in it, is she an early favorite, or do you just pick like a Rhea Ripley? You always got to think about how big of a year Io Sky has had, and they haven't been in there. But Tiffany Stratton easily could be somebody like in the top 5 women to win the Royal Rumble to go to WrestleMania. She really surprised me last year with the win over Charlotte. She could do it again. I think that's going to be a really, really big match. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. I put this one honestly in the number 3 hole. Honestly, because of the fact Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre, they just had a match at WrestlePalooza. That match, the whole storyline was Drew McIntyre delivered a Claymore kick to Cody Rhodes, kind of knocked him out. It was his storyline reason for leaving and going over to make the Street Fighter movie. Once they had the match, if I remember right, I think the storyline was on Cody's return, he beat up Drew to lead to the WrestlePalooza match. And when you watched it, Drew McIntyre didn't seem like he was 100% with it. He actually looked like he had the Claymore kick locked in, and if he hit it, he would have won. But he kind of collapsed before he was able to hit it, and that's how Cody got his win. Some people said that Drew's storyline for that match couldn't be said. They were making it seem as if Drew McIntyre had suffered a concussion, not in real life, but in the storyline to the match. But because of, just rules and laws and, the way people cover wrestling, they weren't able to actually say that. I don't think it was so much because of the concussion lawsuits. I think those have actually finally ended. And that's why you've seen Demolition get their did they get a Legends deal? Is that what it is? Yeah, they got a Legends deal because so many people thought they were going to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. They got to get inducted. Get Demolition in the freaking Hall of Fame. But, on the road to this Saturday night's main event match, right before Crown Jewel, Jacob Fatu found Cody Rhodes in the back. And Jacob Fatu told Cody Rhodes that after Crown Jewel, win, lose, or draw, he was going to be coming for Cody Rhodes in that WWE Championship. He wanted to, be in that main event picture. That is kind of what set up the Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu feud, which led to them having that number one contenders match on SmackDown. But Jacob Fatu was taken out. It hasn't been said if Drew McIntyre is the one who did it. If you watch the lead-ins to did that a few times, you saw Cody Rhodes or Jacob Fatu in the back, interacting with other wrestlers, and Drew McIntyre would be in the back of the scene, all the way in the back of the arena. I don't know if that was their way of saying that he is the one that was taking out Jacob Fatu, but that whole deal was weird. Drew made the promo. He posted it on What's Up, Smoking Dog. We had Drew post the video to all of his social medias, basically saying the match with him and Jacob Fatu was going to happen. I don't know if that was kind of like a smoke and mirror because the rumor was out there that Jacob Fatu is hurt. People at the time were saying that Jacob Fatu was going to be out for up to a year. And then basically Jacob Fatu was found laid out in the back. I don't know if there was a plan. Part of me wonders, with this being a rematch and really a rematch that nobody's really talking about. That's just the crazy thing. Is I wonder if Jacob didn't get injured, would have been in this title match just to have Cody versus Jacob be a big match on this Saturday night's main event. Cody versus Drew just doesn't seem fresh. It doesn't seem like the thing. And now I feel bad because earlier I talked about, Ravi making the video saying that all the matches in WWE were stale. This match is kind of stale. Don't tell him I said that. He ain't watching. It's 40 minutes in. He only watches me when he's going to the bathroom. I don't think he's going to be sitting on the toilet that long. But yeah, I really wonder about that. When it really comes down to it, I thought at WrestlePalooza, I thought with it being the first ESPN show for WWE's champion to lose, I thought would have been a mega story leading into SmackDown. Cody Rhodes, how big of a star he is, how he's fallen. I thought that would have crossed over for a lot of people to think like, oh, shoot, Cody lost. But they didn't do that. At this show, I don't think Drew has a shot to win this match, honestly, at all. I think that Cody's going to win this, hands down. I think that's just the way that it's going to happen. I only got a few minutes here. I just got a text that my daughter needs to get picked up, so we're just going to roll right in to the main event. We normally end this with like a small Q&A. If while I'm going, if you're in here, leave any kind of question you want to answer over into the comments. And then right before I leave, I'll do the little Q&A. I don't care how many questions are in there. I'm going to knock it out. But here is your World Heavyweight Championship, your main event of Monday Night Raw that is going to go down on Saturday night's main event. CM Punk versus Jey Uso. Jey Uso is a replacement for Seth Rollins, who is supposed to defend his World Heavyweight Championship. In this match, CM Punk won his number one contendership by beating LA Knight and Jey Uso in a three-way on Monday Night Raw. And then after that, it was told to us that Seth Rollins was injured. Storyline wise, it was by Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, the Spears and the Tsunami. It actually was his shoulder in the match against Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel over there in Australia. No word on what Rollins is doing. No word on how long he's going to be out. I don't think we're going to be getting a Seth Rollins return, much like SummerSlam, where he comes up out of the ashes and boom, he's back. I know from watching Seth Rollins, from being a fan of Seth Rollins is going to come back as fast as possible. We all saw it, everything that he did to make a return at WrestleMania 40 to be in both, well, not really both, but to be on both nights of WrestleMania. That's the best way to say it. He was the main event of night one. Him and Cody teamed against The Rock and Roman, and that was a big match, but that led to him, because he already came in injured, being more injured, rolling into night two. I believe he was the leadoff match against Drew McIntyre. Drew won the World Heavyweight Championship. Then, because of the fact he was showing off in front of CM Punk, Punk beat him up, and then Damian Priest came down and cashed in his Money in the Bank for Drew McIntyre to hold that belt for literally minutes. But I don't know. This match, something big is going to happen. I listened to the Wrestling Observer, Dave Meltzer, and Brian Alvarez this morning. They said because of the fact that it looked so obvious that Jey Uso was going to turn heel. The only one in WWE that hadn't really put it out there that he had that to him was CM Punk. They were kind of leading to the fact that CM Punk was going to turn heel. I don't think we're anywhere close to that time. AEW pulled the trigger on turning CM Punk heel, honestly, because of the fact he had the comeback, and then we had Brawl Out, and they sent him home. I think they brought him back as a way to get him back into the program, not really have to talk about what happened at Brawl Out, and just go off to the races. And then we got heel Punk, which led to him wrestling until his release when he got in the fight with Jake Perry backstage at the All Out show the next year over in London. And I still remember reading the headlines the morning that Punk actually got released and just being like, man, I understand AEW did what they had to do, but that's beyond crazy. I don't know what Jey Uso is going to do. I really feel like he's going to turn heel. I don't know if that's just beating CM Punk by cheating, by helping, his brother, helping in the match. I feel like it's going to be more like him injuring Punk with some sort of a weapon. If he was to do that, he could fall back on the fact that he's not a heel. He's just doing what he had to do to get the job done. Everybody wants to be World Heavyweight Champion. Everybody would have done what he had to do. But I think that's when you would have seen his actions actually used against him. When you're stacking the deck, you're talking about the fact that he eliminated his brother from the Battle Royal. He took out CM Punk with a wrench, a chair. Maybe he used the ropes to get a pin, something like that. But I think everything is going to be different. You got to be thinking about Roman Reigns, after that. And one of the big things that I'm thinking about is what the hell they're going to do at War Games. How does this match build into that? Because the last time we talked about War Games, on here. I drew up, I thought the teams were going to be LA Knight, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and John Cena teaming against Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, Brock Lesnar, and I threw out a hallelujah to the fact that Jey Uso would turn heel. Now it actually looks like it might do it. I actually crossed out Drew McIntyre to put Jey Uso on the team. But now, because of the fact that Seth Rollins is injured, we're going to have to cross out Rollins. There's been lots of rumors about Austin Theory joining the Vision. The Vision with Austin Theory makes no sense to me today, as it did no sense the day that it first crossed my wrestling headlines rumor page. The WWE Dream Team of LA Knight, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and John Cena still makes sense. Lots of rumors about John Cena wrestling in a singles match against Dominic Mysterio. So if you take him out of that match, do you put Jimmy Uso? He honestly seems like the biggest name in WWE not on this. Do you see Jimmy Uso in War Games as a part of this deal? CM Punk and Roman Reigns are rumored to be the leaders of this team, to be like the team captains, I guess you can say, if you go back to the old days of the Survivor Series when you had teams like Macho Man and Hulk Hogan going up against, I already forgot, Andre the Giant, and I'm not sure. I know one of them was Zeus and the $1 Million Man against Brutus Barber Beefcake and Hulk Hogan. They were the team captains there. And then I think they changed it from 5-man team to 4-man team because the roster had gotten smaller. So then they just went with one captain on each team. But that's one way that honestly could make sense. There would be lots of tension between Punk and Reigns, so I don't know how they come together. Basically, maybe it's an open challenge from Paul Heyman and the Vision, and Punk and Roman both have storylines going back to WrestleMania 41 that haven't been resolved, that they both come out and then they find out they have to work well together. LA Knight would be an easy guy. He seems like he wants to get down to action. Cody Rhodes would love to be in any big match that he could. So if that WWE Championship's not going to be on the line at Survivor Series, I look at him being in there. But Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed have to be there, unless they're going to do the Wyatt Six against the My Family Tree in the MFTs. The numbers match up. I'm not looking forward to it. I don't think that's what I want to happen. But like I said earlier, Brock joining the team of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker is going to overshadow them. I don't really love that. So we're gonna have to see with Jey Uso if this heel turn really comes, if he embraces it, much like he did with the CM Punk promo. And we're really off to the races. I got to get going. I got to pick up Jack and Audrey from school. Their FFA meeting ended. So I will see you guys the next time we do this. I have not texted Jeremy, but I will send him a text. Make sure you go subscribe to the Rock and Noel channel. This is the reason why I learned how to start doing these live streams. I really appreciate coming in here. The Bearded Jedi, Chippy D, Smoking Dog. Shout out to you guys. I couldn't do it without y'all. Let's do some wrestling, man. Saturday night's main event. It's going to be coming up real fast. Make sure you subscribe on Peacock, and I'll see you guys down the road.